Welcome to KBM Sports Talks. I'm Kevin, and today we got the College Baseball World Series preview / prediction. And it's going to be a great video. And we have 64 teams that are in 16 regions. And I'm going to predict which team makes it out of that region and makes it to the Super Regionals. And I'm going to predict who makes it to Omaha. And that will be the video. So let's get into the first region. So, this is what the bracket looks like. As you can tell, there's 64 teams and there's 16 regions. And each region has its own host. Arkansas is the number one overall seed. They get the host in their campus. Texas, number 2. 3 is Tennessee. 4 is Vanderbilt. 5 is Arizona. 6 is TCU. 7 is Mississippi State. And 8 is Texas Tech. Those are the nationally ranked seedings. The rest are just put there. They are ranked, but not as important. But they will host. There's other teams that are hosting. There's 16 regions that are getting their own games. And let's dive right in to the first region, which is this region, which is the Arkansas Razorback division, or Arkansas Razorback region. And the teams in this, we have Arkansas, which is number 1, with the 46-10 record, going up against number 4 in the region, NJIT, with a 26-22 record. Honestly, this game is not going to be a really good game. I think Arkansas is going to beat NJIT pretty handily. Arkansas is very hot this year and very good. Number 2, we have Nebraska with a 31-12 record versus number 3, Northeastern, with a 36-10 record. This game has a lot of potential to be a really good game, but it has a lot of potential it could not be a good game. But I believe that Nebraska is going to beat Northeastern, and we're going to get a Arkansas versus Nebraska in the winner's bracket. And this is double elimination. So the losers play each other to try to get back to play to move on. So with that being said, that means Arkansas will play Nebraska and NJIT will play Northeastern. I believe Northeastern will knock out NJIT, and I believe that Arkansas will beat Nebraska, and we will get another matchup between Nebraska and Northeastern. And this time, I believe that Northeastern will knock off Nebraska in an upset win, and I believe that Northeastern will play up against number 1 Arkansas to make it to the Super Regional. But I don't think Northeastern will even become close in that game. I believe Arkansas will beat Northeastern and move on to the Super Regional and wait to see who they play from the 16th region. And talking about the 16th region, let's get into it so we can get that first Super Regional out of the way. With the Louisiana Tech is the number 16 seed. Their first game, they're playing up against Rider, who is 23-16. Rider upset Fairfield in, I forgot the conference that they are in, but wherever conference they're in, they upset them to win the conference championship and get the automatic bid. But I don't think that Rider will be able to beat Louisiana Tech. So Louisiana Tech will beat Rider. And then we go to the second game. We have North Carolina State, which is 30-17, versus number 3 Alabama, who is 31-24. I think this is going to be a really good game, but I have to give the edge to Alabama. I think Alabama is going to beat NC State. Now, that means we'll have Rider going up against NC State in the losers bracket, and I believe NC State will knock off Rider and eliminate Rider, and NC State will still stay alive. And then we go to Louisiana Tech versus Alabama in the winners bracket, and I believe that Alabama will beat Louisiana Tech and stay undefeated and wait for the winner of Louisiana Tech and NC State. And I believe that Louisiana Tech will beat NC State, and Louisiana Tech will force another game against Alabama. And this time, I do believe that Alabama will beat them again. And Alabama will move on to the Super Regionals to play against SEC partner Arkansas. So that is my prediction for the first two regions. And that is my prediction for the Super Regionals. For that, that's who's going to make the Super Regionals, I think, Alabama and Arkansas. And now let's go to the Austin Regional, which is the number 2 seed nationally in the College World Series. Let's see who's there. So we have Texas, who is the number 2 seed with a 42-15 record, going up against Southern University with a 20-28 record. I believe that Texas is going to beat Southern handily. I don't even think it's going to be a really good game. And then we have Arizona State with a 32-20 record going up against Fairfield, who is 37-3. They were undefeated. They had, I believe that they were undefeated until 32 games, I believe. And they finished the season with 37-3. Fairfield is coming off of being upset by Ryder. Do I think that they will have enough momentum and anger in them to beat Arizona State? No, I do not. I believe Arizona State will beat Fairfield and move on to play against Texas. And talking about Fairfield, let's go to losers bracket. We have Southern versus Fairfield. I believe that Fairfield will beat Southern and knock Southern out of the tournament. And Fairfield will be waiting to see who loses between the Texas and Arizona State game. And I believe that we will have our first upset win. I believe that Arizona State will upset Texas in the winners bracket, and Arizona State will wait to see who they will play. Will be another rematch between Texas or the rematch against Fairfield. And Fairfield will play up against Texas to get that final spot, and I believe that Texas will knock out Fairfield, and Texas will get another shot at Arizona State. But Texas will have to beat Arizona State twice, and honestly, I think Texas will do that. I think Texas will move on and wait to see who they will play coming out of the Gainesville region. And talking about the Gainesville region, we're going to get into that right now too. We have the number 15 seed Florida Gators got their own, they get to host a region. And their first game that they go up against is South Florida with a 28-27 record. Florida will beat South Florida pretty handily. And wait to see who they will play. The two teams that could play against Miami or play against Florida is number 2 Miami with a 32-19 record, or number 3 South Alabama with a 33-20 record. I believe that Miami will beat South Alabama and move on to play against Florida in the winners bracket. And now we go to the losers bracket, and we have South Florida going up against South Alabama. I believe that South Alabama will beat South Florida easily. Not really, no. I think that's going to be a good game. I take that back. It's probably going to be a really good game. But I believe that Florida will play against Miami, and Florida will beat Miami. And I believe that Florida, no matter who they play, Florida is going to be coming out of that region, and they will be playing against Texas in the Super Regionals. And now we go to the 9 seed, which is Stanford, the Stanford region. Let's see who is in that region. We have Stanford with a 33-14 record going up against North Dakota State with a 41-17 record. And I believe Stanford will beat North Dakota State, and wait to see who they play. Will it be UC Irvine with a 40-16 record or Nevada with a 25-18 record? I believe that UC Irvine will beat Nevada and move on to play against Stanford in the winners bracket. And I believe UC Irvine will beat Stanford. And I believe that UC Irvine will be the team to come out of the Stanford region. And now we will be going to the number 10 seed, which is, or no, I'm sorry, we're not going to go to Notre Dame yet. We're going to go to the Texas Tech region, which is the Lubbock Regional. We have number 1 Texas Tech with a 36-15 record going up against number 4 Army with a 28-23 record. I believe that this region is probably one of the best regions in the whole tournament. And I think Texas Tech will beat Army. And then we will have a phenomenal first round matchup, we have UCLA with a 35-18 record going up against North Carolina with a 27-25 record. This game's going to be a great game, but I do believe that UCLA will edge North Carolina out, and North Carolina will have to play against Army to advance. And I do believe that Army will upset North Carolina and play the loser of the Texas Tech versus UCLA game. I believe that Texas Tech will beat UCLA, and UCLA will have to play Army, but I do believe that UCLA will knock Army off, and UCLA will get their rematch at Texas. I believe that Texas Tech, though, will be the team to advance. In that super regional, we will have UC Irvine versus Texas Tech. And now we go to the other side of the bracket, which is the South Bend side. It's the number 10 seed, Notre Dame, with a 30-11 record. They will be going up in their first matchup against number 4, Central Michigan, with a 40-16 record. I believe that Notre Dame will beat Central Michigan. And then we go to the other matchup in the region, which is number 2, UConn, with a 33-17 record, going up against number 3, Michigan, with a 27-17 record. I believe that Michigan will beat UConn, and UConn will play against Central Michigan in the losers bracket. And I believe that Central Michigan will lose to UConn, and UConn will have to wait and see who they play, if it will be Notre Dame or will they get a rematch against Michigan. And I believe that Michigan will beat Notre Dame, and then Notre Dame will play against UConn, and I believe that Notre Dame will beat UConn, but I do believe that Michigan will beat Notre Dame again, and Michigan will advance to the Super Regional and wait to see who they will play from the 7th seed regional, Starkville. And talking about Starkville, number 7 seed nationally, Mississippi State, with a 40-15 record, will be going against number 4, Stanford, with a 35-22 record. Number 2, VCU, will be going up against number 3, Campbell, in that region. But I believe that Mississippi State will beat Stanford, and I believe this is a pretty easy region for Mississippi State. I believe Mississippi State is going to move on to play against Michigan in the Super Regional. And now we go to the Tuscan Regional, which is number 5 overall nationally seeded Arizona, going up against Grand Canyon University. I believe that Arizona will beat Grand Canyon. And then we have the other matchup in this regional, which is Oklahoma State going up against UCSB. And I believe that Oklahoma State will beat UCSB. I believe that Oklahoma State will make it out of this region and play in the Super Regionals, and wait to see who they play, which is going to be in the Knoxville Regional, which is Ole Miss. Ole Miss is the 12th overall national seeded team in the country, and they play against Southeast Missouri State in the first game, and I believe that they will beat Southeast Missouri State pretty easily. And then we go to the 2 seed, which is Southern Mississippi, with a 37-19 record, going up against Florida State with a 30-22 record. I believe that Florida State will not beat Southern Miss. Southern Miss will beat Florida State, and Florida State will beat Southeast Missouri State, and they will play against Ole Miss, because I believe that they will play against Southern Miss again, but they won't win. I believe that Ole Miss is going to be the team to make it out of this region to play against Oklahoma State in the Super Regional. And now we go to the other side of the bracket. We have the Fort Worth bracket, or Fort Worth Regional. And in this regional, we have the number 6 overall seed, TCU. They have a 40-17 record, and in their first game, they will play up against number 4, McNeese, with a 32-28 record. I believe TCU will beat McNeese probably handily, as they look very good in the Big 12 tournament. And then we also have number 2, Oregon State, going up against number 3, Dallas Baptist. I believe that Dallas Baptist will upset Oregon State in this game, and I believe that Oregon State will have to play in the loser bracket against McNeese, and I believe that Oregon State will beat McNeese in the losers bracket. And then we have TCU versus Dallas Baptist. I believe that TCU will beat Dallas Baptist and play against the winner of the Oregon State-Dallas Baptist rematch. And I believe that this time, Oregon State will knock off Dallas Baptist and Oregon State will play against TCU. But I believe that TCU will make it out of this region, though. I just think TCU's offense is just too good at this point in time. And then we go to the Columbia regional, which is Old Dominion with the number 1 seed with a 42-14 record, and they will be going up against number 4 seed Jacksonville with a 16-32 record. I believe Old Dominion will beat Jacksonville pretty easily. Jacksonville had a miracle to get there. And also saying this now, I'm sorry that I'm not really talking about the games and all that. I don't want to make this a very, very long video. It's probably all going to be 15 to 20 minutes long. I don't want to have that long of a video. I just want to make this a little bit short and kind of quick for you guys because you get a preview and get to see the bracket. So let's get back into this. And then we have the number 2 seed South Carolina with a 33-21 record going up against number 3 Virginia with a 29-23 record. I believe that South Carolina will lose to Virginia, but I believe coming out of this bracket, I believe that it will be Old Dominion. I do think Old Dominion I watched some in their 2 of their games in their tournament, and they looked very good. Their pitching staff is very, very good. I think Old Dominion will go and play against TCU in the Super Regional. And now we go to the last 4 regionals. We have the Greenville Regional first, which is East Carolina with the 41-15 record go up against Norfolk State with a 25-26 record. I believe East Carolina will beat Norfolk State pretty easily, and I believe that Charlotte will beat Maryland. And I believe, though, out of everything, I believe East Carolina will be coming out of this bracket because I don't think they have enough competition in this bracket to be able to not to lose. I think they're going to go through that cleanly, but we'll have to see. And then we go to the Nashville region, which is the number 4 overall nationally seeded team, Vanderbilt, going up against Presbyterian in the first game. And I believe Vanderbilt, if they can't find their offense, then they won't make it out of this region because this region is pretty good. And then we also have Georgia Tech with the 29-23 record going up against Indiana State with a 30-19 record. I believe that Indiana State will upset Georgia Tech. I believe the final 2 teams that will be left in this division will be in this region will be Indiana State going up against Vanderbilt. I do believe Vanderbilt, though, will find their bats and move on to the Super Regionals. That's what I believe, but I believe Indiana State will give Vanderbilt a run for their money. And I also won't be surprised if Georgia Tech gives Vanderbilt a run for their money. Now we go to the other side of the bracket. We have the Eugene region, which is number 1 Oregon with a 37-14 record going up against Central Connecticut State with a 28-13 record. And I believe Oregon State will beat Central Connecticut State. This region is not for the faint of heart. You have to be very, very good in this region because we also have Gonzaga with a 33-17 record and LSU with a 34-22 record. I believe that LSU will beat Gonzaga, and then I also do believe that LSU will beat Oregon. But I do think Oregon will come back and win this division or win this regional. But I will not be surprised if LSU does. I will say that now. I won't be surprised if LSU does win this region. But I believe that Oregon can beat LSU 2 games back to back. So I believe Oregon will move on to the Super Regionals. And now we go to our last regional. I did say I would do the Super Regionals. I'm not going to do that in this video. I'm sorry. I didn't want to make this video very long. So this is going to be the last one, and I will go quickly through who I said. Okay, so now we got the Knoxville Regional, which is the number 3 nationally ranked seeded team, Tennessee, with a 45-16 record going up against Wright State with a 35-11 record. I believe Tennessee will beat Wright State. It's going to be a good game. Wright State did give them a little bit of a challenge at the beginning of the year, but I believe Tennessee is going to beat them. And I believe that we have Duke going up against Liberty in the next game, and I believe that Duke will beat Liberty, and I believe that coming out of this region will be an upset. I believe Duke will be the team to come out of this region, not Tennessee. I believe Duke will be the team to come out of this region. So that is my predictions. So I will tell you real quick. I will go back through. So here is the bracket again if you have not seen it yet. This is the bracket. And now we go back up, and I said Arkansas would come out of their region. I believe Alabama will come out of the Rustin regional. And we'll have an Arkansas versus Alabama super regional on that side of the bracket. And then we have, coming out of the Austin region, the Austin, Texas region, I have Texas coming out of that region. And then coming out of the Gainesville region, I have Florida. And we will have a Florida versus Texas matchup in the Super Regional. And then coming out of the Stanford Regional, I have UC Irvine. And then coming out of the Texas Tech Regional, I have Texas Tech. And Texas Tech will go up against UC Irvine. And then coming out of the South Bend Regional, I have Michigan. And Michigan will be going up against Mississippi State in the Super Regionals. Oh, and then we go to the Tuscan Regional, and I said Oklahoma State would be moving on, and then I said out of the Oxford Regional, it will be Ole Miss, and we'll have an Oklahoma State versus Ole Miss Super Regional. And then coming out of the Fort Worth Regional, I said it will be TCU, and TCU will be going up against Old Dominion in the Super Regional. And then we go to the final four regions, and I said East Carolina will come out of their own regional, and I said Nashville will come out of their own regional. So we have East Carolina versus Vanderbilt Super Regional, and then I said Oregon will come out of their regional and play against Duke in the Super Regionals, because I said Duke will upset Tennessee in the Knoxville region. But I also said that I won't be surprised if Oregon does not make it out and LSU does make it out. So that is my bracket, and I hope you guys enjoyed this. I'm sorry that I rushed kind of through it, all that I wanted to, because I felt like it was better if I did that, so you guys could actually hear what I had to say, and two, I didn't want to make this a very long video. So, that is my prediction for the first round of the regionals in the College Baseball World Series. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Let me know what you guys think. I will be doing a Super Regional of what I predict. I probably will be doing a full-blown prediction video later after the regionals happen. Then when we get to Super Regionals, I will predict who will be the team to make it out of those two teams that are left on those. But until then, I will see you, and make sure to tune in Monday through Friday. We'll be at 9:15, and if it's not at 9:15, check my social medias. I probably will post something saying that it's postponed till later, or something's happening where I can't do the show. But check it out, 9:15 every weekday. Check out my podcast, the show, KBM Sports Talk, the talk show, because it's fun. We talk about all the games that happened before, the juicy drama, whatever you want. Go check that out. Mondays through Fridays, 9:15. And until next time, see ya!